What happened to Valerie? What'd you do to her?
Strangled her.
This is 58-year-old Patrick Scott, who took the life of his 17-year-old neighbor, Valerie Tyndall. The details of what led to this tragic incident are deeply disturbing.
She was going to tell everybody that I had my way with her, and that never happened.
However, that was just the beginning. He had even darker secrets to reveal. Breaking him was no easy task, but watch as this remorseless man ultimately falls into the hands of justice.
I don't understand, like that's gotta bother you, right? That you killed Valerie?
Well, I wasn't too crazy about it.
Valerie Tyndall was just a high school student from Arlington, Indiana. To get some extra income, she started working for none other than her neighbor, Patrick Scott. On Wednesday, June 7th, 2023, which was supposed to be her day off, she had left home, telling her parents she had to go to work. But things went very wrong when Valerie didn't return. When all her calls went unanswered, Valerie's mother, Sheena Sandifer, filed a missing report to the Rush County Sheriff's Department. The very first person and prime suspect that the authorities needed to question was the very same man Valerie planned to see, Patrick Scott.
All right, Patrick, so you're here today because of Valerie Tyndall, who's been missing or run away since June 7th, which was a Wednesday of this, right?
Right.
Now, you know Valerie because a couple of different ways here. One, she's your neighbor, right?
Right.
She lives there kind of like in front of you?
Yeah.
Okay. And she also works for you, right? In the summer, help mow grass and things like that, right?
Yeah.
Part-time, okay. And when she does that grass, when she does mow grass for you and works with you, is she usually with you? Do you drive her from job to job?
Yes.
So you guys are always together?
Yes.
Okay. So there's never a time where you have her meet you at a job? You
Just once.
Just once?
Just once.
How long ago was that? Before June? Before she ran away?
Yeah.
Before she left? Okay.
Yeah. Right after, shortly after school let out.
All right. Okay. So I spoke to you at your house on about, I think it was Saturday, June 10th. I saw you outside. Do you remember me stopping by?
Yes.
Okay. And I asked you that day when you saw Valerie last, right?
Right.
And you remember what you told me?
Tuesday.
Told me Tuesday before Wednesday, the Wednesday before she gone, right?
Right.
And that's not true, is it?
No.
Okay. When was the last time you saw Valerie?
Wednesday afternoon.
It's important to note that Patrick had been questioned before, and during his last conversation with detectives, he claimed he had last seen Valerie on Tuesday, June 6th. However, he now admits that he was lying. From the very start, things aren't looking good for Patrick.
Wednesday afternoon. Where did you meet up with her at?
South High Gardens.
South High Gardens in Shovelville.
Yes.
Okay. What were you driving at that point?
I had my truck and the car both.
You had the truck and the car, both at
South High.
At South High.
Right.
So what did you drive there that day?
The truck.
With your trailer too?
Yes.
Okay. How did the car get there?
I had moved it there like the day before, 2 days before.
Why did you do that?
Because she was going to take off.
So you're gonna give her a car to use?
No, I was just going to give her a ride.
Okay, so she called you on Tuesday?
No, she told me a couple days before she was going to leave.
Okay, so she had
I didn't think she'd go through with it, but she did.
Okay, so the plan was for you to have the red car, the Ford Taurus there?
Yeah, because dragging that trailer back and forth gets kind of expensive.
Okay. Okay. So she planned this with you?
Well, she planned it. I just
You went along. You just went along.
Yeah.
Okay. So her plan, or the plan was for you to go ahead and have the Taurus there prior to Wednesday?
Well, she wanted to ride back, but I didn't want to drive that truck, so I drove the car.
On what day?
Wednesday.
Okay. All right. But you took the car there the night before, right?
Yes.
And you did that because you knew that she was going to need a ride?
Yeah.
Because she had already told you that she wanted to meet with you on Wednesday at those apartments, correct?
Right.
So you already knew prior to Wednesday that you were going to go to those apartments in Shovelville at what was it again?
South High Gardens.
South High Gardens to meet her, right?
Right.
You knew that prior to Wednesday?
Right, well, I mowed there on that day.
Did she know that too?
Yes.
Okay. So you were already there, were you there mowing when she showed up on Wednesday?
Yes.
Okay, so you're at South High Gardens mowing grass.
Yes.
And she shows up in her car, her green Honda Accord.
Right.
Okay. Then I take it you stop mowing.
Well, I was already done.
You're done, okay. And you met up with her, right?
Right,
And she got in Ford Taurus with you,
right,
and you guys left South High Gardens,
right.
and left her car there,
Yes,
along with your truck and trailer?
yes,
Okay. From there, you came back to Rush County, is that right?
right.
Okay. And on your way to Rush County, was she on her phone, using her phone?
She texts a lot. She don't talk on it much.
Right. But she was using her phone.
Yeah,
She's
she
communicating.
texts all the time.
She's doing something.
Yes.
Okay. And did you know where you was taking her before that day?
Well, I thought we was going back to Rushville, but we stopped in Homer's where we went to.
Okay, so she had you stop in Homer.
Yes.
Okay. And what happened in Homer?
She got out of the car and got in with another guy.
Okay. What kind of car did she get in?
They just kind of a pale blue car is all I know.
Patrick claims that Valerie had planned to run away from home and that he simply helped her. But what raises even more intrigue for the detective is that he's now introducing someone else into the story. A man in a pale blue car.
She got in this pale blue car with this guy.
Yes.
What does this guy look like?
I have no idea. I didn't see him.
Okay. Could you tell was he by himself?
Yes, from what it looked like.
Okay. And then from there, when you dropped her off, where did you go?
I went back to the house.
Went back to the house. Your house.
My house.
In Arlington.
Yes.
Okay. That was the last time you seen her?
When I dropped her off, yes.
That's the last time you talked to her?
That was the last time I talked to her.
Okay.
Yes.
Now I know that I know you mow grass. You sit over at Berwick Apartments, right? Okay.
Right.
Which is where her car was found at.
Right.
That's where her car's at. Now, how did her car get there again?
I moved it there.
Okay. So when did you move the car there?
Thursday.
Thursday. So you drove over to South High Gardens.
Right.
What were you in that day?
Truck.
Your truck and trailer?
Truck and trailer.
Okay, and you still went to South High, and you moved her car to Berwick.
Yes.
Okay. How did you park it?
How did I park it?
Mhm.
I backed it in.
Okay. Did you remove the plate?
No.
Okay. You did not remove the plate.
No.
Okay. And then you walked back to your truck?
Yes.
South High Gardens.
Yes.
Is there, so you haven't seen or talked to her since June 7th
No.
on that Wednesday?
Nope.
Okay.
Not at all.
Okay.
I figured I would, but I haven't.
Okay. How did you guys communicate with each other?
How did we what?
How did you guys talk to each other? Did you guys use text messages?
Text messages.
Like actual text messages,
Yes.
right? Okay. All right. Now, I'm just going to kind of be honest with you here for a minute, Patrick, okay? So, her phone location, which way did you say the blue car went on that day when you dropped her off?
Which way what?
The blue car, the day you dropped her off on Wednesday, which way did you go?
It turned like it was going out 44 toward Rushville.
Okay. Did you actually see it turn left or right on 44?
No, because that's the way it kind of was angled, and I turned and I just went right on up the pike.
Okay. Did you ever notice it following you, being behind you for any reason?
No.
Okay. So, we know, just from you telling me right now and confirming with other things that we know, I know where her phone was at during that day, during that time, before it was shut off.
Right.
And it was shut off closer to Arlington, not Homer. Okay. All right. And she actually sent a message just before she shut it off, and that put her closer to Arlington. Okay.
She sent a message?
Yeah. So it's very important right now that you tell me the truth, that she wasn't with you at that point.
No, she wasn't with me.
Okay. Because here's the deal. I mean, if you're helping her,
No.
if you have been helping her, this is the time to stop and now tell us where she's
No,
at.
I have not helped her. But if she would have showed up at a job site asking for money, I would have given it to her.
Did you do that?
I would have. I haven't.
Okay.
Because I know she's got to be out of money.
Okay.
Because I know how much she made the last 2 weeks that she worked.
Which is what?
Between $900 and $1,000.
Okay. You pay her cash, right?
Yep.
Okay.
At this point, things may seem unclear, but the detectives have already been digging deep into the case. They have access to all of Valerie's phone records, and nothing Patrick says aligns with the evidence. He's slowly but surely approaching the end of the road. But for now, let's see how long he can keep up with his fabricated story.
Since you guys drive together and everything, who do you think she may be with?
I have no clue.
Give me some names though. You give me some names a little bit.
I only know the one boy.
And what was
I don't even know him. I just know the name.
What was that name again?
Truck one morning a couple weeks ago, and she was pissed. I knew she was when she got in the truck because of the way that she was texting. I mean, she was violently texting. She then said, I asked her, I said, are you mad? And she was pissed because the boy dumped her. She talked him into taking her back, just so she could dump him a week later. Then he showed up at their house, I want to say Monday before she disappeared, and got his stuff. And he was pissed, she told me, the next day.
And this is the kid that drives the pale blue car, right?
No, he had an orange car.
So this is a different kid?
Yeah, there's 5 or 6 of them all the time.
Patrick is now painting Valerie as a troubled girl involved with multiple guys, trying to tarnish her reputation. It might not seem apparent as to why he would do such a thing, but in actuality, it is all a part of his plan. And soon, this plan of his will come to light.
You think that was on Monday before she was gone?
Right. No. I don't even know what he looks like. I don't know what none of them look like.
You just know he drives an orange car.
I'm an orangey, ugly thing.
But you dropped her off to somebody in a blue car.
Right.
Okay.
Then there was the other boy. There was another boy she was talking to on Tuesday that was giving her because he thought they were going to have a relationship, and she said no, but I can't tell you who his name is.
Okay.
And then there's the boy in Arlington.
So she discussed this with you about her wanting to leave?
Yeah, she's been discussing it for a long time.
And did she discuss it prior to Wednesday, within a couple of days before Wednesday, about this idea of what she was wanting to do?
I'll tell you the truth, I thought she was leaving Saturday night because she said she was leaving Saturday.
Yeah. Okay. When you go to the Berwick Apartments, you mow grass there, right?
Right.
Okay. Is the only time you go there when you mow grass?
Yes. Or if I have to spray or something.
Okay. All right. So you only go to those apartments for work-related stuff, right?
Most of the time, yes.
So it'd be fair to say that if you were there any other time or whatever, that'd be odd.
Say it again.
If you was there at a different time, like I'm guessing you probably do like all your work during the daylight hours, right?
Most of the time, yeah. Now I start early in the morning.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, that's fine. That's fine.
Yeah.
Okay, but to be at your locations that you mow grass at, any of them, to be there later in the evening would be kind of odd, right?
For me?
Yeah.
If it was like 8 or 9 o'clock at night, it would be, yeah.
Okay. All right. But you would probably have your equipment with you, right?
Yeah.
If you was doing work, like you have your truck and your trailer, right? Okay. So have you ever been to Berwick without your truck and trailer?
No.
So anytime you go to Berwick, you're always in your truck and trailer?
Yeah.
Okay. And it's probably during the daytime when you're supposed to be working?
Yeah, most of the time I'm there around, if I spray, I get there like at 5 in the morning.
Okay.
So that way I don't want nobody walking through it.
Yeah. So you wouldn't be there in the evening then?
No.
Like, say, I'm trying to think here, 4 or 5 o'clock in the evening?
No.
Okay. But if you were, you'd be in your truck and trailer though, you said, right?
Right.
So, why were you in that area on Friday in the tours?
Friday?
Mm-hmm.
Patrick has no clue that the detectives have also been closely monitoring him. His story isn't holding up, and he needs to come up with another plan. But how far would Patrick go to hide his sinister side?
Don't know. Was I over Friday?
Yes, you were. Yep, you were.
I'd be in the truck and trailer then.
Nope, you weren't. You was in the 4 tours.
Was I in the car?
Mm-hmm.
At Berwick?
In that area. Yeah, in fact, I think you probably, I don't know if you knew or not, but you kind of acted in a way where maybe you thought you were being followed. My understanding is that you went through some cul-de-sacs, turned around, came back out, things like that. and some of the guys actually lost you for a minute. You see where I'm going with this?
Yeah.
See how this looks like maybe you're helping her, maybe you was going over there to see her on Friday for some reason?
Yeah, I was in there about 4 or 5 o'clock. I don't remember going to Berwick. I was over in that area.
So were you trying to help her?
Nope. Swear to God I wasn't.
It's really hard to believe you right now.
I know.
Because, I mean, we started off on a bad thing here when you lied.
I know, but I swear to God, if she's there, I don't know that she's there.
Would there be some sort of plan that she had tell me what she said to you. What's the plan here? She obviously had a plan.
I don't know. She told me 100 times she was leaving. In the beginning, I believed her. And then it wasn't there. She just, I'm leaving. Said she was leaving over the weekend. That nobody would ever know she was gone. But she didn't leave over the weekend. Said she was leaving Saturday, she didn't go.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, I don't know.
Well, what we're trying to do here is that we're trying to get her home. Okay? That's all we care about right now. We got to get her home.
Okay.
Okay? And it is important that if you know more than what you're telling me, because right now you feel like you may be in some trouble for whatever reason, it's time now to be cooperative and help.
Because
anything else that happens to this girl, it's not going to be good for you, possibly.
Right.
Okay? I mean, you've already delayed our investigation. Okay?
But I don't know. I really don't know where she's at. I really don't. She never really, until lately, she never talked to me about boys. We talked about everything else in the world but boys.
Okay. So you're telling me that you haven't seen her, talk to her, or know anything about her since June 7th?
Nope.
You just went back on Thursday and moved her car?
Right.
Because she asked you to?
Right.
Why specifically?
She wanted me to move it somewhere else so that way it wouldn't be out there sinking. It was sitting right out and wide open.
Did she tell you to move it to Berwick?
Yes.
So she specifically said move it to Berwick.
And see, there was a deputy living out there, so I don't know why she would want.
And you haven't seen her out and about when you're mowing grass over there. We know you've been over there since she's been missing, because it sounds like the grass has probably been mowed.
Right, I've been over twice.
And you never seen her?
Nope.
But you've seen the car there, obviously.
Yep, I knew the car was there.
And you failed to tell us that.
What?
And you failed to tell us that from the very beginning.
I know.
Patrick started his story with a lie, putting himself in a difficult position from the get-go. With his contradictory statements and the undeniable fact that he moved Valerie's car despite claiming he didn't know her whereabouts, he's getting pushed into a corner by the minute. But even with his back against the wall, he will continue to build up stories, and very soon, he's going to realize that he's instead digging his own grave.
The week that she was gone, on the week that she left.
Yeah.
So let's say that Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. Did she work for you on Monday?
Yes.
And how much did you give her?
She got about 120 to 150 bucks.
Okay. And what about Tuesday?
Same.
Did you give her any money on Wednesday?
No.
Okay. All right. So you didn't give her one lump sum at any point to be
No.
like, hey Valerie, here's $1,000 or here's $500 to help you with what you're doing.
No.
Okay.
No.
And again, why were you over at Berwick on Friday in the tours?
I was looking to see if the car was still there.
You wanted to see the car was still there.
Yep.
Okay. And why is that?
See if she left in it.
Okay. Did you go straight to there, or did you kind of loop around a little bit?
No, I was driving around.
You're driving around. Why were you doing that?
The hell of it.
Sounds kind of weird to me. Gas isn't real cheap right now.
I know it.
If you had intentions of going straight there to check on the car, why wouldn't you just go straight there?
Because it looked like somebody was following me in a white car.
Okay.
Or a white. Every time I turned, it looked like the car turned too.
Okay. Why were you concerned with that?
It just seemed strange to me that I was being followed. It looked like I was being followed.
Okay. But if you weren't trying to hide this girl or anything, why would you just not go straight to the car? Who did you think was following you?
Well, I didn't know.
Okay.
Patrick is trying to be sly here. He recalls the detective telling him that they tracked him near the Berwick area and that he was acting as if he was being followed. At that time, Patrick couldn't fabricate a story on the spot, but now he's trying to match the details of the detective so that they feel like he's telling the truth.
So what numbers you have in here for Valerie?
For Valerie?
Yeah.
I don't know. It'd just be under her name.
All of them be underneath her name?
It would be under, say Valerie Tyndall.
Okay. We're going to try to have...
Oh, go to the phone.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, okay.
I'm going to try to have you call her, okay? I'm going to see if she'll answer for you on one of these numbers. Okay, you got her here as Val 2, and Valerie Tyndall.
Yeah, she had 3 different phones.
Yeah, we're going to try this, and we're going to see if she answers for you.
Okay.
If she answers for you, you're not going to tell her where you're at, okay?
Okay.
You're just going to kind of have to play dumb.
Okay.
And try to get her to see if she'll meet you somewhere.
Okay.
Okay? I don't know, maybe ask her where she's at, or if you can meet up with her to help her, maybe give her some money, something like that.
Okay.
Okay?
Yeah.
All right, try to figure out where we can meet her, all right?
Okay.
Where you can meet her, all right? Obviously you're not, but we'll see.
Okay.
All right? If she even answers.
Oh, put on speaker. I can hear you.
Hello?
Hello, who's this?
Ben's mom.
I'm sorry?
Benjamin's mom?
Oh, okay. I've got the wrong number. I'm sorry.
Hi.
Mm.
Bye.
Bye.
Who's Benjamin?
I don't know.
That's not good. Hey, we're gonna call this number back, okay? The
First one?
Yep. And when whoever answers, ask for Valerie.
Okay.
Ask if Valerie's there. Ask if you can speak to Valerie, okay?
Okay.
Hello?
Is Valerie there?
This is Valerie here.
Okay, thank you.
Bye.
And that's not her?
No, that's not her voice. I don't recognize that voice at all.
We're gonna try one more number. The number that you don't have her saved as, but I saw that you text this number to her mom. We're gonna try that, okay?
The phone calls didn't provide the detectives with any solid leads. They still have no idea where Valerie is or whether she's even alive. Meanwhile, Patrick is doing his best to appear completely cooperative, making it seem like he's fully committed to helping the investigation.
Why would her phone ping location on the way to Arlington still? You said you dropped her off at Homer.
Uh-huh.
That's not what the phone tells us. Phone tells us she was closer to Arlington when the phone went off. Why is that?
I don't know.
And it'd been like, if she pulled out, it was right behind you, you would have seen her.
Right.
Because I mean, literally, it would have been right behind you.
Yeah, I know that, but they wasn't behind me.
You see why I'm a little skeptical about this whole thing?
Right.
Because I mean, I think you took her back to Arlington for some reason.
I never took her back to Arlington. Never got nowhere near Arlington with her.
How's she getting food? How's she getting clothing?
Well, I thought she would show up on a job site because she's got to have gone through that money. I really thought she would show up. She knows the schedule.
It's just really hard to believe you right now, Patrick. It's really hard to really believe everything that you're telling me. You know what I'm saying?
I know, I
You know?
understand.
And right now would be the time to not lie to me anymore. I mean, if you're...
I'm telling you everything I know.
Alright. I mean, think of it this way. What if this was your daughter? What if the shoes were on there, what if the shoes were on your feet? Your daughter was missing and someone knew, or semi-knew maybe where she could have been, right?
I understand.
Would you not want that person to cooperate and start telling us where everything's at, what's going on?
But I really don't know where she's at. I haven't talked to her.
Okay.
Unfortunately, the conversation ended without any new leads, allowing Patrick to slip through the hands of justice. However, Patrick was charged with providing false information to law enforcement and was not off the hook yet. Then, on July 10th, 2023, he was brought back in for DNA swabs. This time, however, the detectives weren't just asking questions. They already had some answers.
And then you go bond out?
Yeah,
You go bond right out? Okay.
yeah.
And then, do you know the amount?
Yeah, they said $10,000.
Valerie's still missing, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so any idea where she may be or anything like that?
No, but by now I imagine she's probably running scared since I'm in trouble, so.
Okay,
But I haven't talked to her. I figured I would by now, but
okay. You willing to answer questions if I ask you questions today?
no, that's my attorney now.
Okay, so we'll go back and do that. We got a few other things though today, all right?
Okay,
I have some search warrants to execute today for you, okay?
okay.
So, run through them real quick. What search warrants we got? I've got 3 search warrants to execute, okay?
Okay.
So one search warrant's gonna be for 2 swabs of the inside of your mouth, okay? And I'll
Okay.
read it to you, but I'll just explain them to you and then I'll read them all to you
Okay.
individually, okay? And you get a copy, you will get a copy of everything I do, okay? So you
Okay.
get a copy of the search warrant and then you get what's called a return, which means anything we take off the search warrant. So for example, the first one's for 2 swabs of your mouth. I'm going to give you a paper that says, I took 2 swabs of your mouth.
Okay.
And you get to take that along with the search warrant, okay?
Okay.
With that. So the first one that we'll do is for the swabs of your mouth. The second search warrant is for the address of 2366 North Oak Street
Okay,
for the property, okay? And the third search warrant is for 2394 North Oak Street, also in Arlington, for the property, okay?
Okay.
That's what the 3 search warrants are for. I will read them to you, and then I'll sign them when we execute them, okay?
During this meeting, the detectives make it clear that they have the right to search every property Patrick owned. While he appears to be unfazed, deep down, he knows his time is running out. But before that final confrontation on November 28th, 2023, investigators were about to uncover something on his land. Something so horrifying it would traumatize anyone who saw it. And even more disturbing was the twisted story Patrick was about to tell.
5 months, you and I have gotten to know each other, correct?
okay,
Correct? You've seen me a lot, right?
yeah,
Okay. And every time we talk, we get along good, right?
I reckon.
We talk, right? We have no issue talking, correct? Okay. So here's the deal tonight. Now I normally don't do this, okay, but here's how I'm going to do this. I'm going to tell you, because here's why. Here's why. You know, I can play off like 8 million things right here. As you come and sit in this room, your mind plays tricks on you as an officer, all right? And it tells you to go all these different directions and try all this different stuff. But the fact of the matter is that I think you're overall probably a pretty good person, okay? If I didn't, I would have treated you probably different over the time, all right? So today, as we drove in here just for 40 minutes and we just drove in together, in my head, as your head's doing of what's about to happen, in my head, I'm like, how am I going to talk to Patrick? And you know what I decided when I walked through the door? I'm just going to talk to you like a person, all right? And then there's times like you sit in this interview room and maybe that didn't happen in the past, all right? But the fact of the matter is that the natural human thing is when you do something wrong is you want to tell us that you did something wrong, okay? The other thing is that there's family involved. There's mistakes that's been made, okay? So what I made the decision of when I walked through that door right there was, I would like to talk to you today, and I would like you to tell me what happened to Valerie. That's the end result of what I want to know, okay? But here's what's weird about today. I'm going to tell you everything I know, okay?
Okay.
Because here's the deal. In the end, I believe you've done something to Valerie.
What?
I believe you've done something to Valerie, and we're going to prove it, all right? But what I want to know is the why. And what you want to tell me is I'm sitting here watching you tear up right now. You want to tell me the why, okay? So, does that make sense?
I guess.
I'm not trying to be a jerk to you, okay? That's what I'm trying to say. I'm trying to be a person to you that you understand I sit across a lot of people, okay? And the day one I sit across, or the times I've sat across from you, you remind me of a common man that goes to work, that works his butt off, and is a family man that loves his family. That's what I get from you, okay? And I may be completely wrong, but that's what I got from you in the 5 months that I have known you, okay? So as the case went, and here it is, Patrick, I'm going to lay it out to you. But in the end, I really want you to tell me the why, okay?
After 5 long months of relentless questioning and searching, on November 28, 2023, the detectives finally had the answers they needed. The perpetrator had been sitting right in front of them all along, and now they have the evidence to prove it. This is the moment Patrick's stack of lies is about to crumble.
5 months ago, June 7th, Valerie disappeared, okay? As June 7th went, that day, we know Valerie was with you. Admittedly, you told us that. In my timeline, I may be a little off on a lot of it because a lot happens in 5 months. And to be honest with you, I'm a little bit tired today, just like I'm sure you are tired, all right? But on June 7th, you drove Valerie ultimately back to your residence, okay? And you arrived at your residence at 12:59 p.m., okay? And then between 12:59 and roughly 4 o'clock, something happened. And our job was to fill the gap in to try to figure out what happened. And as the investigation unfolded, that led us to today, in which we found the box with Valerie's body in it behind your shed. Okay? Now I could have come in here and said, Patrick, do you know why I'm about to talk to you? Because that's the common thing. And that was the first thought in my head that I was going to do to you. And then I said, no. Because I think deep down you love Valerie, and I know you love your family, okay? So I decided that when I come in that door just now, that I'm going to give you an opportunity to explain the why, okay? Because we have her in the box, okay? Wrapped up multiple times, taped up in the box of the OSB and the 2x4s that you bought, next to the box that we talked to you earlier about that had the videos in it.
Had what?
Had the videos in it. We got her in the box next. So you know we have found her. And I didn't want to bluff you on that. I wanted you to know that. And as you're sitting there tearing up wanting to cry, all right? So, I'm going to read you your rights. This is the opportunity for you to explain the why. At your residence, we have you, Linda, and Elizabeth are the 3 adults that live on that property. Okay? Own the properties. Let me rephrase that. Because it's at that storage shed. It's not the house. So you, Elizabeth, and Linda live there. You are the 3 that have access to that property. Okay? You are the 3 that have the potential to bury Valerie Tyndall. Patrick, today's the day. The family deserves this closure. And you deserve this closure. Do you hear me? You deserve this closure because this has ate at you. We can tell that every time we talked, all right? So I'm going to advise you of your rights.
Before discovering Valerie's body, detectives spoke to witnesses who recalled seeing Patrick set fire to his garage in the early morning hours of June 8, 2023. And just near that burnt-down garage were the remains of Valerie, identified by the pink nail polish she was wearing when she disappeared. And for the finale, with no more ways to escape, here's what Patrick had to say.
Well, I do. I mean,
What happened to Valerie?
Valerie got carried away.
Doing what?
Huh?
Doing what?
Doing what?
Mm-hmm. Just lay it out to me. Lay it out to me. What happened to her?
She tried to blackmail me into buying her a car.
Okay. And what happened?
She thought she was going to seduce me and it wasn't going to happen. Things just got carried away.
Well, explain that to me. What's that mean? Does Linda know about it?
Nope.
Okay.
Nobody knows.
It's your chance to tell me what happened.
She tried to seduce me and I wasn't going to have it.
But what happened to Valerie? That's where you're stopping. What'd you do to her?
What'd I do to her?
What'd you do to her? Tell us what you did to her.
Strangled her.
With what?
A belt.
Okay. And then what'd you do with it?
I moved her into the office
Okay. How long was she in there?
till the next day.
Okay. What did, where's the belt at?
It's gone.
Okay. You left her in the office till the next day. Then what happened?
Then when I got home the next day, I just made that box.
Okay. What about the hole?
The hole was already dug. But it wasn't for that, it was because I was going to throw concrete in it.
What about the other box?
Just put in it.
Or did you build two that day?
No, just built one.
So you strangled her. What room were you in when you strangled her?
Back there by my bedroom.
Like in that little entryway? Had you and Valerie been in a relationship?
Never.
Okay. So you said she tried to seduce you for the car. Well, explain to me what happened.
She was wanting to come on to me.
Did she say she was going to get you in trouble, or?
Yeah, she was going to tell everybody that I was making moves on her.
Okay.
I wasn't going to have it.
Okay.
It just, things got out of hand.
Where'd the belt come from?
It was mine, I had it on.
You had it on? Okay. So explain to me what happened there in that room. Like, how did you get the belt on her?
I was fighting her off and I took it and threw it around her.
Why were you guys fighting?
Because she was trying to get, she had tried to take her clothes off.
Okay.
And it wasn't going to do it.
Okay. And then you guys got in a fight?
Yeah, kind of a pushing and shoving thing right there.
Okay. And then you took your belt off, and then what happened?
I put it around her neck and I held on to it till she quit.
Okay. And what'd you do afterwards? Like, what was going through your head at that time?
I didn't know what to do with her.
What did you first think about doing?
Huh?
What was your first, what were you thinking about?
Trying to figure out what to do with her.
And how long did you hold that? Give me a ballpark of how long you held the belt.
On her?
Yeah.
Just quit moving.
Okay. Did you know she was dead then?
I pretty much figured so.
Okay. And so you put her in the office, and then the next day you built the box. Where'd you build the box at?
Backyard.
Okay. And then when did you put her in the box?
That same day I built it.
So the 8th, correct? So 7th she went missing, the 8th you built it.
The day she went missing, no, I built it the next day.
You built it okay, so she went missing the 7th, you built it on the 8th.
Yeah.
Where'd you get your lumber at?
I already had it.
This story is deeply disturbing, but what's even more unsettling is Patrick's complete lack of remorse. He remained eerily casual, shifting blame onto Valerie and portraying himself as the victim. His behavior is as pathetic as it is horrifying. There's no denying it. Patrick wasn't just a liar, he was pure evil.
Explain to me how have you seem like a good guy. Explain to me how you have functioned like you have. Like, did you hate Valerie?
Did I hate her?
Yeah.
No.
So
No, we done all kinds of stuff for
you
Valerie.
guys seem close, that's what I'm asking, yeah.
I mean, we took, she'd go out to eat with us. Her and her little sister both would go with us different places. They took her to the movies. They've taken her shopping. We took her and Holiday World 1 year with us.
Okay. So that day, why did Valerie come back to your home that day? Like, explain that day to me, because it was weird. Valerie drove to you to that South High Garden, right?
Right.
And then you picked her up and you drove her back to Arlington.
Right.
Why?
Because she wanted to go back to the house.
What was the reasoning, though?
Well, she never really gave me one, so I told her, but she wanted to sneak back from her dad for some reason. Because if he'd have seen her, he'd have beat the hell out of her.
Okay.
Because she lied to him.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So you did she put up a good fight? Was she pushing you hard or anything?
Was she?
She's not a very big girl, right?
Well, a little bit.
Okay.
But
And then you put the belt around her neck. Did you loop it like through the belt? Like, was it a regular belt?
I don't remember.
Okay. And you held it until she stopped moving, and then you knew she was dead. Okay. When did you wrap all the stuff on her?
Next day,
Okay. And where was that done at?
on the office floor.
Okay. And was anybody home during that time? Okay. Did he ever see this?
Oh, no, wait a minute.
The aide?
When I wrapped her,
Yeah,
no.
when you put her all up?
No, wait a minute. He may or may not, I don't remember. Sometimes he went to his grandmother's.
Okay. So you don't know if he was home?
Oh, he may have been at his great-grandmother's.
Okay. And then you wrapped her in like black, it looks like a trash bag to me, or it's black plastic.
Yeah, whatever I had around there.
What is that? Is that like landscaping stuff or?
Probably what I used it for.
Okay. And then you taped her. You wrapped her and taped her multiple times. Do
Okay.
you remember doing that?
Yeah.
Okay, why?
Why?
Yeah, what was the reasoning? Like what was going through your head when you did it? I know why. I'm just asking you.
Just get rid of her.
Okay. Was it the smell?
Not yet.
I mean, was it to prevent the smell? Is that what it was?
I don't know. I just wrapped her up in plastic.
Okay. And then you put her in that box that you built.
Yeah.
Right. And then how did you get her from, did you carry her over to that box? Or did you build the box, bring it over, put her in it, and then pull the box over? How'd you get the box? How'd you get her from the office to the box?
I drug her.
Okay. Like through your neighbor's yard?
Oh, no. The box, I took it in the house.
Okay. So you took it in the house and you put her in the box in the house.
Yeah.
And then you screwed it shut?
Huh?
You screwed it shut in the house?
Yeah.
Okay. Then how did you get the box from there to your other property?
Two-wheeler.
Okay, a dolly.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. And then did you stick it up
Yeah.
and dolly it across? Okay. And then you did that after the box? Like
No.
you did that like right after?
Yeah.
Okay. And you said the hole was already there. It was a pretty deep hole.
Yeah.
You didn't have to dig any of it?
I already dug a bunch of it.
Okay.
See, I dug all that because I had been looking for the well on the back of the house.
Okay.
But see, all around that house, I don't remember when I dug what because...
No. I'm talking about where she was found. Behind the shed.
Right.
When did you dig that? Had that been dug in the past?
Yeah.
Okay. So did you have to dig it more though?
No.
So it was deep enough when you got there?
Yeah.
Okay, so you put the box in, then did you cover it up?
Yeah.
Okay. And did you do that all by hand? Like a
Yeah.
shovel? Okay. And was the shovel there?
Yeah, one of my shovels.
Okay. And then what about the other box? How long had that been there? It looks like the same wood. It's the same
July.
screws. Okay. So that's the second box you made, just different times.
Yeah.
Okay.
And there it is, the sinister act committed by Patrick Scott. The detectives finally have the why, but even as he tells his story, it's clear he's still being deceptive. And it wouldn't be the first time. Knowing this, the detectives keep pressing, determined to catch him in a lie, hoping that sooner or later he'll slip up.
What was Valerie saying when this was happening? What she was saying to you?
That's what I can remember.
Okay. Was she struggling when you were when you were strangling her?
Yeah.
Okay. What were you saying to her?
I didn't say nothing.
Okay.
I just knew she wasn't going to blackmail me.
Yeah. So because of the blackmail, was that your intention to kill her? To avoid the blackmail?
She was going to tell everybody that I had my way with her, and that never happened.
Okay. So then...
Like anyone else, the detective had grown tired of Patrick's cold, remorseless demeanor. But with his confession in hand, there was no escaping justice. Patrick was arrested and officially charged with murder. Finally, on March 11, 2024, Patrick Scott was sentenced to 57 years in prison after he pleaded guilty. As part of a plea agreement, he was also required to pay $10,000 restitution to the victim's family. Patrick received his punishment, yet it is tragic that a young life was cut short by his actions. Till the very end, Patrick showed no signs of remorse or regret. While we may never know the full extent of what happened inside that house, it's certain that Valerie's worst fears were realized, leaving us only to hope that her soul finds peace. So what do you believe truly happened on that fateful day? Was it merely a case of blackmail, or did Patrick attempt to use force against Valerie? Feel free to share your opinions. We'd love to hear from you. If you have any cases you want us to cover, please share your suggestions in the comments section. Also, like, share, and subscribe to our channel to uncover more cases like this from around the world. Until then, stay safe.